Hello and welcome to French Philosophers React, a philosophical take on the news headlines for today, August 26th, 2024. This is an AI-generated podcast and can make mistakes. Use it for generating possible ideas, but don't rely on it as an authoritative guide to the news or to the details of French philosophy. In the news today, Kamala Harris's presidential campaign is focusing on swing states, particularly Georgia, where the Democratic candidate and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, will hold a bus tour of rural areas, suburbs, and urban districts with large Black communities in southern Georgia. The Harris-Walz campaign has identified Georgia as a critical battleground state where the two candidates are neck and neck in polls, and is working to turn the energy from the Democratic convention into hard work making calls and knocking on doors. Meanwhile, President Trump's team is also focused on Georgia, with top Republican advisors saying that if they can win the state, it will be crucial for his re-election hopes. Harris has raised a record $540 million in 5 weeks, while her campaign chairperson claims that volunteers signed up for almost 200,000 shifts during convention week. So, what might French philosophers have to say about this news item? The story unfolding before us is a stark reminder that our understanding of democracy is often built on fragile foundations. As we witness the intense focus on swing states in the U.S. presidential election, it becomes clear that the very notion of fair play is being stretched to its limits. This phenomenon is not unique to American politics. Rather, it speaks to a broader issue that resonates with Michel Foucault's concepts of power and subjectivity. In his seminal work, Discipline and Punish, Foucault, 1975, argued that power operates through networks of subtle control, permeating every aspect of our lives. The focus on swing states in the story exemplifies this principle, where campaigns employ tactics to manipulate public opinion, often blurring the lines between truth and fiction. By casting doubt on the integrity of the electoral process, Trump's assertion that our primary focus is not to get out the vote, it's to make sure they don't cheat, creates a climate of suspicion, eroding trust in institutions. This kind of manipulation has consequences for our understanding of reality itself. As Foucault, 1980, noted in Power Knowledge, knowledge and power are intertwined. Those who wield power determine what is considered true or false. In this context, the repeated claims by Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, that we're going to do everything we can to make sure the election happens ring hollow when juxtaposed with his failure to unequivocally commit to a free and fair process. The story also highlights the ways in which power operates through networks of control, reinforcing existing social hierarchies. The emphasis on swing states, particularly Georgia, reveals that certain segments of society are deemed more crucial to the outcome than others. This is a classic example of how power works to maintain its own interests by shaping perceptions and manipulating public opinion. Foucault's work on biopower, 1976, sheds light on this phenomenon, where those in positions of authority use institutions to regulate and control populations. In this case, the campaign's focus on swing states can be seen as an attempt to micromanage the outcome, influencing which groups are mobilized or suppressed. This has far-reaching implications for our understanding of democracy itself. As we witness these tactics unfold, it becomes clear that the very notion of a level playing field is being undermined. The story demonstrates how power operates through networks of control, shaping perceptions and manipulating public opinion to maintain its own interests. By scrutinizing this phenomenon through Foucault's lens, we gain insight into the ways in which democracy can be subverted by those who wield power. Ultimately, the story serves as a stark reminder that our understanding of politics is often built on fragile foundations. As Foucault, 1975, noted, the exercise of power is not about imposing one's will upon another, but rather about shaping the very terms of possibility within which individuals and groups make their choices. In this context, the focus on swing states in the story represents a fundamental failure to uphold these principles. As we reflect on the implications of this phenomenon, it becomes clear that our understanding of democracy must be revised. We can no longer assume that fair play is guaranteed. Rather, we We must recognize that power operates through networks of control, shaping perceptions, and manipulating public opinion to maintain its own interests. By acknowledging this reality, we may begin to build a more nuanced understanding of politics that acknowledges the inherent flaws in our democratic systems. In the words of Foucault, 1980, the exercise of power is always accompanied by a certain number of apparatuses which ensure its efficacy. The story serves as a stark reminder that these apparatuses are often used to maintain existing power structures, rather than to serve the needs of citizens. As we navigate this complex landscape, it is essential to recognize the ways in which power operates and to resist its manipulation through critical thinking and collective action. In conclusion, the story offers a window into the inner workings of democracy, revealing how power operates through networks of control, shaping perceptions, and manipulating public opinion to maintain its own interests. By examining this phenomenon through Foucault's lens, we gain insight into the ways in which our understanding of politics is built on fragile foundations, and we are compelled to revise our assumptions about the nature of democracy itself. Thank you for listening to today's episode of French Philosophers React. Be sure to come back tomorrow for more reflective takes on the day's news.